Being I haven't been able to visit anywhere much lately, I've been reading some articles about sacred trees and such like. I found it quite illuminating, and I thought it might be interesting to do a little video on some of it for my Visits with Amazing Trees series, especially as I'm still off the road and not able to record much lately. Give me something to do. Now, there are many old villagers that may have been Christian, but they also believed in local spirits like the rowan tree, which they say had a protective spirit that is thought to come from the bright red berries. So living in harmony with them was a must, not an option. And respecting nature by maintaining like a good behaviour in nature was a way of keeping harmony. Now, back in time, as the nights got longer and they didn't have Coronation Street and crap, it was time for tall tales and inner searching. So it's no wonder that trees have stood for so much and have been venerated since the dawn of humanity. As you look up into the lush green canopy and gnarled boughs of an ancient tree, it feels magical, I think. They provide shelter, materials, medicine, heat and light. These magnificent living, breathing giants have inspired many stories of lore and legend. And going way back, groves of oak and yew trees were worshipped by our ancient ancestors. When Christianity was a young religion, it wanted to make its mark and seemed to use many of these sacred groves as a locations for its churches. Now, all humans seem to have an emotional need for symbolism and ritual, and our wonderment of trees has fertile roots in our past, and it also continues with new shoots in our modern world. Now, I suppose the first sacred tree I should mention is a yew tree. I've done a comprehensive video on this, so I'll just go briefly. So basically, the old pagan religions associated yew trees with death and rebirth. Their branches and foliage were cut for ceremonial occasions, and groves of yews were sacred places, and more were planted to create new hallowed land. Now, the yew tree's link with death possibly started because it's an evergreen and it can live for thousands of years and can even regenerate. When a low branch touches the ground, it can sprout roots and grow into a new cloned tree, called phoenix regeneration. And yews remained a symbol of eternity in Christianity. The words change from rebirth to resurrection. Now, as a yew tree ages, their central core rots away, making them difficult to age. But a yew tree with a girth of 6 metres could possibly be at least 1,000 years old. They are very slow growing. Some yew trees still alive today would have been seedlings in possibly pre-Christian times. Yeah, the stories they could tell. And there's a common saying amongst the inhabitants of the New Forest that a post of yew will outlast a post of iron. The world tree. Now, this is a tree of legend. And if you imagine a vast giganteum tree in the centre of the world, its branches stretching up to the heavenly abode of the gods, the stars and the planets, while its roots reach down to the dark depths of the underworld, the realm of the dead. It's a tree that can hold all realms, a bridge between the human world and the world beyond, like a symbolism of interconnectedness. You call it the world tree, you could call it the cosmic tree, or more commonly the tree of life. And it's an archetype that appears all over the world, from Native America to Siberia and the Aboriginal Australias. And the tree of life influenced much of the Celtic, Anglo-Saxon and the Nordic traditions. Now next we have the banyan or Bodhi tree, and it's significant to two major religions in Asia, both Buddhism and Hinduism, and it's revered for different reasons. Its looks and its size are mythical, and its behaviour sounds almost like science fiction. So it's not surprising this tree is universally sacred. Apparently it's part fig tree, but it's also an epiphyte, or a plant that grows on another plant. Now, the mature tree looks magnificent and primal, and it can spread by sending aerial roots down from its branches into the soil. And as you can imagine, there's many myths and stories associated with these trees. Some still believe that spirits live in them, and you can imagine in these Gothic trees, the tiniest movement of air can stir the leaves. So when no other trees' leaves are moving, the banyan leaves still move, adding to its spooky reputation. Now, some believe that it was the Bodhi tree or the banyan tree that Buddha became enlightened. And Hindus have multiple associations with various gods, and it's said that Vishnu was born under one, and it's the first known image of a tree in India, and it was a seal discovered in Mohenjo-daro, one of the ancient cities of the Indus Valley civilization. The tree is associated with longevity, and Hindus continue to worship these trees, and a variety of rituals are carried out to this day. And temples often have venerable banyan trees around them, and they're also planted in open spaces in villages. The leaves also have medical properties, and they're also painted on by artists. So these trees are practical as well as spiritual resource. Now, one of the best known sacred trees, especially in the Western world, is the Christmas tree. Ancient people across the world used to bring branches of evergreen trees and plants into their houses in the winter time to celebrate the winter solstice. When the day is shortest and the night is longest, and it falls on December the 21st in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, this tradition was woven into the celebrations of the Christian religions as usual. It's not really clear when fir trees were used as Christmas trees, but it could have been 1,000 years ago. Now, I think the first Christmas trees were decorated with edible treats such as gingerbread and gold-covered apples. Then glassmakers made special small ornaments similar to the ones decorations we use today. Now, this one's an interesting one. It's a Maori pohutukawa tree, and one of New Zealand's best known trees is a single ancient pohutukawa tree, and it's the northern tip of the North Island, and it's where the land meets the sea, and the tree precariously clings to the rocks at what looks like the edge of the world. And it's said to be one of the most sacred spots for the Maori, a place of connection to all those gone before, considered to be the gateway to the underworld. The spirits of the dead begin their journey by leaping off the headland and sliding down the roots of the 800-year-old tree. Now, I've read that space nearby to the tree is protected as sacred land and includes an area where people from all over the world can come and plant a tree dedicated to loved ones who have passed away. It's a great example of how these old customs are changing but continuing on in the modern world. It's also known as the Kiwi Christmas tree because the red blossoms appear in December. Now, things have really come full circle in the modern world. It's looking to trees for sacredness again in memorial trees. There's the obvious ecological benefits. It's supposed to have mental health benefits and other practical uses. And their wildness and dependability through time reminds us we are part of nature, and it's so much vaster than we can imagine. I know in England, in the United Kingdom, people have started to plant trees as memorials to loved ones who have passed away. Especially now as cremation is more popular. Relatives seem to have no physical location to mourn or remember or visit their loved ones. Some people are planting trees in churchyards and some elsewhere, using the tree as their focal point to carry out their ancient and necessary human rituals in the modern day. Now, as you probably know, tree rings provide a snapshot of Earth's past climate. And as trees can live for hundreds and sometimes thousands of years, over their long lifetime it can experience a variety of environmental conditions. Wet years, dry years, cold years, hot years, early frosts, forest fires and more. And this can give scientists some information about that area's local climate in the past. Now, back thousands of years ago, when the weather was good, the trees display a greater spacing between their rings, indicating suitable growing conditions. But on the other hand, it got narrow when the climate worsened, when it got colder. Now, I think it was Michael Bailey, a leading expert in dendrochronology. When exploring the oak rings, he discovered a very peculiar phase of growing that indicated a terrible event had occurred in the 6th century, the Dark Ages. Now, this mysterious event had its fingerprints recorded in many tree species, and it actually pinpoints the exact year this anomaly took place, and it was 536 AD, and the tree spoke of a terrible disaster. And the details from the trees were cross-referenced with ice samples from Greenland ice sheets, which corresponded with his finds. And locked in the ice was the cause of the tree's disharmony: fine volcanic ash. So the research suggests ash from a volcanic eruption attacked the Earth's vibrancy, and the sun struggled to reach the surface of the planet. And it suggested that a volcano located in Mexico may have been the cause of the sudden rise in sulphur in the atmosphere, which resulted in the most severe global cooling event in the last few millennium. Now, it surprises me personally that for such a global catastrophe we don't have any worldwide myths like we had with the great floods and stuff like that. Usually have and can be linked to such a global event. It's very unusual to not have them linked to such a worldwide event, as it must have had a significant impact on the cultural and social development of the Dark Ages. But those whispering hoax had not finished their story though, as further analysis showed that the planet took another hit in 540 AD. And it's thought both of these results had a combined temperature drop of over 5 degrees C, which led to crop failures, famine, plague, the deaths of sadly millions of people worldwide, which must have set the Dark Age society back due to a severe lack of cultural advancement in its society. An assumption made due to the minimal historic documentation produced during that time period. But over in England we're being invaded by the Saxons and the Vikings, which explains even more why it was called the Dark Ages.